It's Halloween, and what could be scarier than trying a brand new type of challenge run? And to fit with the theme, we're going to run Gengar. This is a brand new kind of challenge inspired by a wonderful person in the comments section called Matthias, so please do leave a comment thanking him for the inspiration. It's been an absolute pleasure to not only code this type of challenge, but play this type of challenge as well. I'm pleasantly surprised with just how well I'm enjoying this. Now, the concept is very simple. We take a Pokémon and we give it 4 moves at the very beginning of the challenge. And those 4 moves are the only moves we are able to use throughout the entirety of the challenge. Those 4 moves can come from anything that the Pokémon can legally learn in Generation 2. So that is its Level Up Learn Set, its TM Learn Set, Egg moves, and if it's a Generation 1 Pokémon, it will also get its Generation 1 compatible TMs. However, event moves are not included in this challenge. Now, once we have the Pokémon, we are going to try and get as far as we can through the game. The aim isn't to defeat Red, that is going to be a bonus if it does happen. Instead, the aim is to score as many points as possible by defeating the key trainers in this challenge. Those are the gym leaders, the Elite Four, Lance and Red. For the gym leaders and Elite Four, we get 1 point per win. For Lance we get 2, and for Red we get 3. That gives us a maximum of 25 points to play with. And if we take a reset, that is the challenge over. There's no do-overs, there's no going back. We take our score and we see where we are on the leaderboard. So there are going to be a lot of these SuperMON challenges that don't make it across the line. And then if that wasn't tricky enough, we're also playing with a hard-coded level cap. That means we cannot exceed the level of the next key trainer's highest level Pokémon. So for instance with Falkner, we cannot exceed level 9. There are plenty more intricacies and details for this challenge, however I will now hand you over to the live run and we'll get to see how they work in practice. And now we are ready for our first SuperMON challenge. I hope the intro gave you a good idea as to the rules and the aim of this particular challenge, but especially for this one, I'll take it a little bit slower and I will talk through things as we get along. So I'm going to go through the core concepts again now that we are in the live run, and we can see the learn set on screen. We have to pick 4 moves from the available moves, so I'll make those a little bit bigger so that we can see what we have. We have everything from Hypnosis down to Haze, but the 4 moves we pick are going to be the 4 moves we stick with for the entire run. Other things to note on screen, you can see we have a hard-coded level cap, so we cannot exceed the level of the next gym leader or key trainer's ace Pokemon. We also have a number of points. Every gym leader we defeat, we score a point. We get 2 points for the champion and 3 points for Red, for a maximum of 25 points to declare the Pokemon a SuperMON. And we also have a tracker for the number of attempts that it takes, because if we get knocked out, we go back to the beginning, we take a look at our learn set and we think, was it bad luck, bad strategy, a bit of both? What should we change? What moves can we sacrifice to gain better moves? The idea of this series is not to complete the challenge with every single Pokemon. It's going to be to see just how far we can get, just how many points we can score. And this is going to take a long time to get used to. We have a completely different mindset for this as opposed to a regular challenge run. We're not against the clock. We can take as long as we want. I can pause for an hour and think about strategies. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that we defeat every single trainer we have to come up against. And if we do that, we're a SuperMON. So I'm not going to have the perfect strategies. I still don't in regular challenge running, so goodness knows how bad I'm going to be at this. But I hope you're going to join me for the journey. If you like this concept, first of all, let me know down in the comments. And second of all, if you really like it, please do click the subscribe button, because these videos are going to take a longer time to produce. If you think about the times of our challenge runs, it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours of raw footage I have to go through. With something like this, a Pokemon that isn't quite as good as Gengar could take 30, 40, 50 attempts to get a run that I think that's as good as it's going to be for that Pokemon. So I really would appreciate it if we all just got together and showed some support so that more people can learn exactly what the SuperMON challenge is. And with that, we'll start thinking about our moves. And now with Ghost being physical in Generation 2, and as only having 65 in physical attack, I'm thinking we might want to forgo the Ghost-type moves and just try and get as much coverage as possible. There's a school of thought which says use Hypnosis and Dream Eater and a couple of other moves, but I think that's going to be too risky for this kind of challenge. We need those high accuracy, fairly high damaging moves. We're going to be in a good situation at the beginning of the challenge because we'll have access to moves like Thunderbolt very early on, and Thunderbolt will easily take care of Falkner, it'll easily take care of Bugsy. Then we move on to Whitney, and we need to think of an answer for her. Thunderbolt could paralyse the cow, which would do a very good job of stalling the rollout, but is that the best move? Maybe we could use an Ice Punch, because we'll need Ice Punch later on for Claire and Lance, so I think Ice Punch has to go on the learn set. Fire Punch would be an easy answer for Jasmine, but is it the right answer? We don't know at the moment, so we are in a real quandary, especially with a Pokemon with a learn set quite as big as Gengar's, because we have so many choices, we don't know what the right one is yet. So I will get the learn set off screen, and I will commit to a couple of moves at least, and we'll take things from there. So we're going to say goodbye, first of all, to nothing, actually, because we do have a move slot free, and we are going to get Thunderbolt if we can find it in the list. And then we shall go and teach our next move. I'm committed to Ice Punch as well. These two I think are no-brainers. They're going to be very handy throughout the course of the challenge. So we will get rid of Hypnosis in place of Ice Punch. And now the next two are going to be a little bit tricky. I am thinking Psychic, maybe, and I'm thinking potentially Fire Punch as well. Could be the wrong choice, but this is just attempt number one. I don't know if we are going to get across the line on attempt number one, but Psychic's a very strong powered move, and Fire Punch gives us the answer to the Steel types. We've got something for the Rock Grounds, we've got something for the Rock Waters. I think we could be in a fairly good position. So now we need to find Fire Punch on the list. We will teach it to our Gengar in place of Spite. And I think I am committed to this learn set. So our learn sets for our first attempt with SuperMON Gengar is Ice Punch, Psychic, Fire Punch and Thunderbolt. We shall have to see if that is the right choice as we now take on the SuperMON Challenge. And with that, we are underway. We're still playing on 4x speed, just because it makes the runs a little bit easier to record. And if you're wondering what will happen when we need to use a HM, we now have HM items in the challenge run patch. So, instead of catching the HM friends, they're taking a little holiday with this series, we are going to have the HM items instead. Now, Gengar's going to have a fairly easy start to this challenge. We're not going to take much damage at all, because most things have either poison or normal type moves at the beginning of the run. Weedle won't be able to poison us, we don't have to worry about anything at all, and we can pick and choose our Pokemon that we wish to battle to try and get the best stat experience. Even if we hit the level cap, it could still be worth training a little bit because we get stat experience. Now, unlike our Nuzlocke, we're not going to be having the candy jar. Because we only have one Pokemon in the party at all, there is no need for the candy jar. We are going to train all legitimately until at least we get to Blue. At Blue, we will probably pick up the candy jar because there's no way we're going to be able to get 30 levels fairly quickly to produce these runs. But at that point, our stat experience is fairly maxed out in the important stats. We'll take on Rival 1 now as we are level 7. And the Rival has Totodile. That is because the Rival will get Bite later on with Totodile. Not that it'll mean anything. We have Thunderbolt and 130 in special attack. And we don't get points for the Rival. Showing a little bit of disrespect there because honestly, We don't need points for the rival. He should be trivial in most cases. So we will name the rival triple question mark as we always do for this challenge. We'll have a little chat with Professor Elm. Unfortunately, we still have to get the mystery egg as he squashes our SuperMON super nerd there. We'll get the balls. We won't be using those at all. And we'll start heading towards Violet City. Now, we are going to be hitting our level cap well before Falkner. It is a guarantee because we've got Youngster Mikey, we've got Birdkeeper Abe and Birdkeeper Rod as well. But we can get the stat experience from anything else that comes in front of us. We don't have to play at full speed. We can take our time, and I think that is going to be the important thing in this challenge. Instead of running in head first, we've got to use our brains. We've got to play a little bit smarter than we might have to do when we're against the clock. In a mid-battle situation, again, I can pause, I can take my time, I can think about what I'm doing, so we don't have that worry. We are now at the level cap as well, and I'm just going to take on anything wild that comes up in front of us as we get into Violet City. And one quick hill later, we are in Violet Gym. I'm not expecting any issues from Birdkeeper Abe. We should outspeed, we should two-shot. Could have gone there for Ice Punch, really. That would have been a one-shot, but it doesn't matter. We're not against the clock. We will take on Rod next with his Pidgey, and we are going to put Thunderbolt in top spot for Rod. Now, we do have a little bit of danger at Falkner because of Mud Slap, so I am hoping that our ludicrously high special attack will see us through. So this is Falkner. He is our first gym leader. He is 1 point's worth of gym leader action. He leads with Pidgey. It's going to be a one-shot. Do we get our first point as we knock out the Pidgeotto in one? Yes, we do. We obtain the Zephyr badge, our points go up, and our level cap does as well. So Gengar, on its first attempt, is not going home with nothing. Now, we still do have to do the storyline, unfortunately. I wish we didn't have to, but we are going to box this egg straight away. And now, normally, we would head straight to Violet City on a regular, or a classic challenge run, shall we say. In this instance, though, we're going to start climbing Sprout Tower. We're leaving it until after Falkner because we can start getting our experience for levels again. And there are a couple of items we need at the top of Sprout Tower. We are going to be needing not only the lantern, which will replace our Flash HM, we also want to get the key escape rope. And the escape rope key item is at the very top of Sprout Tower as well. So this won't be difficult for our Gengar. Once again, we can take it slowly, we can use super effective moves. We don't worry about extra text boxes in this. I am loving these challenges already. I did a couple on stream earlier this week to try and test out the format, feel the waters, see if it's the kind of thing we're all interested in, and it seemed to be a very positive experience. And I have to say, it might just be because it's new and shiny and fancy, but Matthias is a genius. Matthias is the person who came up with this format. It's not an original Squidgy idea. I am bowing to him and tipping my hat in absolute awe at the genius of this idea. I honestly think this has the potential to completely revolutionize challenge running because it's a different way of thinking. It's a completely different puzzle using very similar pieces. Now, if you are new, like everyone is, to this format, and you're not quite sure where the learn set comes from, it is a combination of our Generation 2 Level Up learn set, our Generation 2 TM learn set, our Generation 2 Egg moves, and then also our Generation 1 TMs if the Pokemon is from Generation 1. So it is any move that Pokemon can legitimately learn in Generation 2 without it being an event move. And with that, we have the escape rope, we have the lantern, we're already up to level 14, and that means we can start heading towards Azalea Town. And now we are still on route number 32 here, we're heading towards the Union Cave, but I reckon we're going to hit our level cap fairly soon. And I want to take you through the reasons why I'm taking on certain trainers. I'm going to take on the Magikarp guy here because that's going to give us a lot of speed stat experience. And because we can't overlevel, it just means that Pokemon like Whitney's Miltank are less likely to outspeed us if we go in with a few extra bits of speed stat experience. You can see now we're no longer gaining levels, but we are still going to get that stat experience added on. And next time we level up, we might see a fairly big boost in our stat experience. And it's going to be weird, actually, not having any of the HM friends for a solo run. I think this might be the first time we have ever just had one Pokemon in the party from start to finish. And I would kind of like this in our classic runs because it would save a little bit of healing time. But I think we'd all miss the HM friends if we got rid of them entirely, wouldn't we? We will have to think of some way to reincorporate the HM friends into this. I forgot to pick up the repel, but it doesn't matter because it just means we're going to get some defensive stat experience here in the cave. I am having such a good time already, and I have been thinking already, maybe getting ahead of myself, about our potentially tricky trainers. I think we're going to have a fairly smooth ride up until Will, and part of the choices I have made on that learn set is to try and make sure we've got something super effective for all of Will's Pokemon. We've got Thunderbolt for the Zartus, we have Fire Punch for the Jinx, we have Fire Punch or Ice Punch for the Executor, and we also have Thunderbolt for the Slowbro. I'm going to be picking up a lot of items as well on these runs, because the more items we pick up, the more money we can get, and the more vitamins we can buy very early on in the game. Because we're not against the clock, I can do that. I can do a lot of cash building so that we can really try and maximize our stat experience output. We have the benefit of being in Generation 2, where we have stat experience as opposed to EVs, so we can max out every stat if we need to. Hopefully it won't come to it with a Pokemon like Gengar, but that is an option. So let's now take on Larry and his Slowpoke. I used the wrong move there, but it's just swearing at us. I'm going to take a little bit of time actually getting used to the order of the moves. Now, we don't have anything super effective for Ray, but we have two very strong neutral moves, so he goes down as well. With that, we're outside the forest. We will go into the grass. We will try and find a Kenya, just so that we can say hello to it at the very least on our first one. If Kenya's being a bit shy, though, we might have to abandon this. It looks like Kenya is not wanting to come out to play on this particular run, so we'll leave the grass, getting a little bit more stat experience. And you know what? We'll take on Hiker Anthony. We never take him on, but we can use a Psychic against the Geodude, and then we'll use a Psychic against the Machop, and that feels so good. I love being able to knock out Anthony. Doesn't happen too often in the challenges, but it happens in this one. We are still going to get repels. We're not going to be going full wild encounters. We don't need the non-key escape rope, and we don't need any balls, so we can leave. We'll do a heal, and then it'll be time for the rockets. It's going to be nothing interesting happening in there. So instead, we'll go straight into our next gym together. This is going to be a fairly easy one as well. We will take advantage of having Fire Punch, and we will do full trainers in this gym as well. Make sure we get all of that delicious stat experience. We've had a lot of battles, actually, since we hit our level cap, so we could be in line for a fair amount of stat experience and a fair buff to our attacking stats. We'll have to keep an eye on those, actually, when we do level up in Rival number 2. I don't think Rival 2 is going to be any issue either. We have just 2 more Pokemon now to face before we take on Bugsy. I think this is going to be one of our easiest gyms we will ever see in a SuperMON challenge. Bugsy can't hit us hard with anything at all. He can't poison us. Fury Cutter's going to do nothing at all. And we have super effective moves for all of his Pokemon. So we'll take him on now. He's going to lead with Metapod. So one shot on the Metapod, that means it's going to be a one shot on the Kakuna. And then we'll move on to the Scyther. Thunderbolt's a one shot as well. And we get our second point. 2 points on the board. We get TM49, we'll sell that for some money. We get our new level cap as well. We're up to level 20. We will do a heal just for PP purposes here. And we'll take on Rival 2. This time he is going to lead with Ghastly. And honestly, it's not going to be a tricky thing to get rid of it. We've got Psychic, so it goes down in one. We'll Psychic the Zubat. And that just leaves Croconaw left to go. We'll use Thunderbolts, 3 one-shots for Rival 2. We grow up to level 17, and we can start making our way through the forest. Now, in this particular run, I will show you all of the HM items that we get. So if you want to play this yourself, because the patch will be available very soon on the website tradersquidgy.com, you can see exactly what item is for where. So we do get the scythe here from the charcoal maker, and that's going to give us the same effect as cut. We can chop down the tree, and then we can stick on another rappel. Round there is headbutt. You also get a tree shaker. If you do wish to shake those trees, try and find some encounters for some experience. Otherwise, you can just go through. She'll give you a honey jar, I do believe. And with that, we have made it to Goldenrod. So the first thing we will do, as we always do, is we're going to get the bike. That has not changed. We will register the bike. That's probably going to be our main key item for the entire challenge. And we are going to go into the underground because we need to get the coin case so that we can teleport. We're still going to be taking advantage of our teleport spots. Not because it saves any time in this one, it just saves a lot of effort. I don't particularly want to be walking back through some of the different routes. We will do our 2 trainers down here as well, probably get very close to the level cap while we're at it. In fact, we might take on the Lickitung and Grimer trainers if we aren't quite at level cap. By the time we get through Tiru here, I don't think the stat experience is going to be worth it to take them on otherwise, and we have hit level 20. That is our level cap, so we're going to get the coin case here. We will then use our key item escape rope to get out. We'll go into the game corner if I can find it. Always get a little bit thrown when we get kicked out of the top entrance there trying to get into the game corner. And there is our rental Abra. That is going to work exactly the same as a regular Abra's teleports will. It will take us back to our nearest Pokemon Center. And I believe that is all the HMs that are available, or should I say the HM of the field moves that are available to us at the moment. So we shall now move on towards Whitney herself. So we will now have a little chat with Floria to send her back to Goldenrod City. And as you can see, we'll move the rental Abra up to here. And we'll return to the last Pokemon Center as we would do with a regular teleport. So that is very, very handy. It's nice having everything in the key items pocket. It is just going to take a little bit of getting used to for the old muscle memory there. And for last carry, we will just use a Thunderbolt. And with that, we are ready for our third gym battle. Now, this is one where we could get knocked out. So we are going to have to be a little bit safe here and a little bit careful. She leads with Clefairy. We're not able to two-shot the Clefairy. Haze is meaningless, though. Let's get ourselves onto the Miltank. I think we should be safe. We're a lot safer than I thought there. That was a two-shot on the Miltank. We get the plain badge. And that gives us our new level cap of 25 and also our 3rd point. So Gengar has 3 out of a potential 25 points so far. We'll get the Squirts bottle. That will allow us to get over to Ecruteak. But before we get there, we're going to go into the department store and we're going to see just how much we can sell for some extra money at this early juncture in the game. If we can get a couple of extra vitamins already, that would be absolutely perfect. So we probably don't need the Paladis Heal. We'll get rid of that berry. Get rid of the potions. We'll buy supers later. We're not against the clock either. And then we can get rid of our balls as well. So we'll say goodbye to 5 Pokeballs. We'll say goodbye to a Great Ball. And we can buy 2 vitamins at the moment. Gonna get 2 of their finest calcium. We will dump them in straight away. And that's going to give us a little bit of extra special stat experience, which will hopefully carry us through the next part of the challenge. But the next part of the challenge is all the way up north. We're going to be going to Ecruteak City next. We're going to get through the Sudowoodo first, and we're also going to be getting our next key item that will replace one of the HMs. So we will be getting that after Sudowoodo. Unfortunately, we got caught by Camper Ivan here. We've already taken on both of those, and we've taken on the trainers here past National Park. And the Sudowoodo is not going to be an issue at all. I'm going to try knocking it out, but if we don't 1 or 2 shot it, I will run from it instead. It learnt Ice Punch, low kick's fine. There we go, I love Wild AI. And here is TM08. We also get the big hammer. That will allow us to smash any rocks without having to teach Rock Smash. We get through the dangerous Drowsy Trainer. We beat up a poor old lady as well to get to level 21. And we can make our base in Ecruteak. So the first thing we'll do here in Ecruteak is take on the Kimono Girls. We've only got 2 of them left to go. It's going to be a one-shot on Vaporeon with Thunderbolts here. And that just leaves Jolteon left. Jolteon's going to be no issue at all either, I don't think. We'll use a Psychic against it. Sand Attack doesn't really help us or hinder us, for that matter, and we can get ourselves the Raft. Now, the Raft is going to help us cross the water without needing to use Surf, and we'll do another heal. And then, just to get us towards the next level cap, we'll take on a couple of trainers on route towards the Lake of Rage. We'll get our spot for the Lake of Rage as well, but we won't need to go and do all the bits and bobs that we would normally do at the Lake of Rage, because of course Hidden Power is banned, as is Return, by the way. I'm not sure if I've mentioned that in the intro, but Hidden Power and Return are not allowed. My reasoning for that is I think they would be a little bit unbalanced for this kind of challenge. We are really looking for the Pokemon to adapt itself to the challenge ahead of us, and with Hidden Power and Return being mostly universal TMs, it would give us a couple of too easy answers, really. We are now at the next level cap, by the way, so we will not be gaining any regular experience. However, we will still be gaining our stat experience. We've got a few good Pokemon for stat experience, actually, up here towards the Lake of Rage. We've got Ron with his Nidoking. Then we have Pokemaniac Ben with his Slowbro, which we should be able to take care of with a Thunderbolt. And then we even have the Gyarados man over here. He's got a couple of Magikarp and a couple of Gyarados. We've got plenty of Thunderbolts, and that is going to give us a heck of a lot of stat experience. We are just going to keep on building our stat experience, not only in our attacking stats, but our speed and defensive stats as well. So now we're at the Lake of Rage, we shall grab the full restore, and there's only one thing we're going to pick up here at the lake, and that is the rare candy up towards the top of the lake. And with that, we will teleport all the way back to Ecruteak City, where we will take on Rival 3. So once again, the rival battle is not going to give us any points, but it will still let us progress through the challenge so that we can earn some points. He's going to lead with Haunter this time, so we'll use a Psychic. We'll knock it out in 1. We'll use Psychic against the Zubat as well. Up next is Croconaw. We'll swap to Thunderbolts for that. And then we have a Fire Punch for the Magnemite. A very, very trivial rival battle. That's why he's worth absolutely nothing at all. And we will release the beasts, and we can get out of the Burnt Tower. We will use our very handy escape rope key item. We're going to go back in and use the big hammer here to grab the HP up. We'll get out again, and we will get into our next gym. Now, while we're taking on the gym trainers, if you're wondering about tie breaks, we are going to have a secondary scoring metric for how close you are to the next point. That's not going to change the overall score. We are just going to keep the score as the number of points you earn. But say, for instance, we get knocked out on Morty's final Pokemon, and then we do another run where we get knocked out on Morty's penultimate Pokemon, the one that got to the final Pokemon will be considered a better Mon for that run. So I hope that makes sense. We will be getting a full leaderboard set up for these SuperMON runs as well. So we will be able to track all our changes up and down at the leaderboard, see just how well we do with each individual Pokemon. We're going to be starting off with the fully evolved and the Pokemon that don't evolve, and then we'll take things from there. So let us now take on Morty. He is our 4th gym leader together. Much like us, he is a Ghost type specialist, and he's going to lead with Ghastly. We'll one-shot Ghastly with Thunderbolt. We'll swap to Psychic for the Haunter. It's super effective. We will outspeed this Gengar. We knock it out in 1, and then we'll use one last Psychic for the final Haunter. Morty is defeated, and we get our 4th point. We get up to level 30 as well for our level cap. And that means we can start moving on towards Olivine City. We do have a little bit of grinding we can get on with now as well, because we have hit our next level cap, and that means we have to take on a bunch of trainers once more. We have a couple of these points actually where the level cap jumps right up. We've got one here between Morty and Chuck, and then we're going to have another more annoying one between good old Pryce and Jasmine, because Pryce, I believe, has a level cap of 31, and then Jasmine is 35, 36. So we are going to be using our rare candies at that point in the challenge, I think, because even in the Elite Four, there's no sense in boosting our level cap there. We'll get the mint berry for a little bit of safety later on. We'll get the nugget, and I'll keep on grinding. And so now at the top of the lighthouse, we have made it up to level 29. We will have a little chat with Jasmine. We will pick up the rare candy here as well. And we'll take on this bird keeper just to get a little bit more experience. I think his set of birds will do quite the trick, especially because he's got a Fero. We're not going to quite hit the level cap, but we can get some more delicious experience. We will also, while we're here, pick up the hyper potion that's hiding there. We'll get the swagger TM. We're not able to teach any TMs, of course, but we can sell them for good money. We are going to get a quick heal here in the Pokemon Center, and we will also receive our next HM item. And it's just him. It's his phone number. So whenever we need boulders moved, he will run to our assistance. Let's now get on the water and let's now cross into Cyanwood. And after chatting with the man in the dodgy shop, we are ready to take on our next gym. We have Psychic. I think this is going to be a fairly trivial affair. We have hit our level cap against Black Belt Yoshi. That means we can move on to Black Belt Lao with his Hitmonchan. That thing would be dangerous if we didn't knock it out in one. And we can keep on progressing. The next Black Belt has a Machop. Going to be easy. And again, the Machoke is going to be easy as well. And we've got just 2 more trainers to face. One of them is this final Black Belt Lung, of course. Leading with a Mankey, we'll use Thunderbolt against the Mankey, save some Psychic PP. Then we'll swap to Psychic for the Primeape. And then that just leaves Morty himself. Not Morty, Chuck! Goodness me, I hope that misnaming him doesn't bring us any bad luck here. Let's hope we have good luck for Chuck. So let's now take on Chuck himself. Had to remember to put the Mint Berry on for this battle because we can get sent to sleep by the the Poliwrath, and that could spell disaster. We'll use Thunderbolt. Hypnosis misses, of course, when we remember to put on the Mint Berry. Hypnosis always misses, but we do get our 5th point, and look at how generous that level cap is. We go all the way up to level 31. We gain an extra level. 1 whole level. Aren't they fantastic people giving us that? And with all the trainers we've got coming up, that feels like a little bit of a waste. We have the air balloon here. Now, unfortunately, the graphics for the air balloon are a little bit on the wonk, but it does function as we would hope. So we will deal with it for now until I've figured out how to code out that error. We'll get ourselves a rare candy. I've got a bit of housekeeping to do. And we'll meet back up for the next battle. And of course, the next battle is going to be against the Red Gyarados. We have a 4x super effective Thunderbolt here. It's not going to be an issue. We knock it out in one. We obtain the red scale. We'll have a chat with Lance now. I wish we could skip this section, but we can't. So we're going to have to go into Mahogany Town. We're going to have to beat up a bunch of rockets. We're going to hit the next level cap at some point in this hideout section. We're not going to sit through all the battles until we get to the next level cap. Instead, we'll skip straight to Pryce. What an absolute waste of time, effort and energy that rocket section was. Lance has given us the bath plug though. That will let us cross the whirlpools we will be facing throughout the course of this challenge. We can make our way into our 6th gym together. This is, of course, Pryce's Ice-type gym. And I think we'll have a fairly easy time in here. We have Fire Punch for the occasional Ice-type. We have Thunderbolts for the Water types. And I think we should have a good time, I should say. He leads, of course, with Seal. We use Thunderbolt. It's going to be a 1-shot. On the Dugong, it's probably going to be a 2-shot. Aurora Beam doesn't do much at all. And he switched, I think, actually. That was a little bit strange. We'll Fire Punch this Piloswine away, though. A couple of Fire Punches will get rid of it. And then we're back onto the Dugong. We'll finish it off with a Thunderbolt. A little bit touch and go there, getting down to 47 HP. but we do earn the Glacier Badge and our 6th point. So we have 6 points on the board. Our level cap has gone up by 4 levels up to level 35. And that means we can take on Jasmine. So let us now start climbing the lighthouse. I went back to Goldenrod department store and I bought 4 of their finest iron and put them in our Gengar. And for full disclosure, I am able to see the number of vitamins I'm able to put in all of our Pokemon on these runs. So we have 2 iron slots available. Did I only put in 3? I thought I put in 4. I must have put in 4 and I got my numbers wrong. But we have now given the secret potion to Jasmine. We'll get out of here, we'll pursue her, and we'll see how we get on for our 7th gym battle. And now I've been doing a little bit of thinking, and I'm going to try without leveling up. I think this is risky, but it might prevent a healing loop on the Steelix, because I don't think we're going to one-shot it regardless. We can get through the 2 Magnemite fairly easily. What about this Steelix? Oh, never mind. We are absolutely fine. We don't need to level up. We are in very, very high ranges. We did a lot more than I was expecting there. We do get the Mineral Badge and a little bit of a flex on Jasmine, as well as our 7th point. Now, some things never change. We get the dreaded phone call from Professor Elm. Ugh. We have to do the radio tower now, unfortunately. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it, but we will get through the radio tower and we'll reach our next level cap and take on Rival 4. And now we are about halfway through the rockets, about halfway through our progress to our next level cap as well, and it is time for arrival number 4. This time he is going to lead with Golbat. We've got Psychic in top spot, and we can knock it out in 1. He's going to send out Sneasel next. We will use a Fire Punch. We're still holding the Charcoal. We knock it out in a single hit. We can move to Thunderbolts for the Feraligatr. We knock it out in a single hit as well. And that brings us on to Magnemite. We've got a super effective Fire Punch with Magnemite's name on it. And then it's Haunter versus Gengar. We will flex by using Psychic. And we will defeat the rival for a 4th and potentially penultimate time in this challenge. Unfortunately though, the rockets are still going on. They are just endless, or at least that's how it feels in this particular part of the game. I'm not mean enough to make you sit through all of those rockets, but I am going to show this battle here at the top of the radio tower, because technically we could be in danger here. Houndoom could do a lot of damage to us, because that bite did actually hurt quite a bit. But we are safe for this battle now, and we live to fight another day. We get rid of the rockets. We don't have to think about them at all now for the rest of the challenge. We aren't going to be picking up the clear bow from the pink bow from Marie this time. We will get the Sunny Day TM so that we can buy some extra vitamins. And we will go down to the first floor of the radio tower. And it's at this point I do want to say a very, very big thank you to Kanbei. Kanbei is the inaugural and only member of Team 11212. 11212, of course, is the answer for not only the Dragon's Den, but the radio card quiz. And Kanbei was very, very, very generous and kindly donated £112.12, or 11212, to the channel a couple of months ago, and I have been meaning for the longest time to say a very, very big thank you, Kanbei, for that donation. It's never expected, it's never assumed, but it's always appreciated. And please, please, please do know that I am eternally grateful for all of your support, be it financial, be it with likes, be it with subscriptions, be it with comments, or be it just with your lurking in the background. They all mean the world to me. And now we have hit the level cap at some point during all of that as well, I've only just noticed. And we can start progressing through Claire's gym. I don't think Claire's going to prove to be too problematic. We have Ice Punch for her Dragonair, and then we will have our choice of moves, either Thunderbolt or Psychic, for the Kingdra. We'll have to see which we are feeling. We'll have to see just how much damage we do. We can see we one-shot this Dragonair, and we will be swapping to the Nevermelt Ice to guarantee the one-shot against Claire's Kingdra. We've only got Lola left to go as well now. She's a very easy trainer. A couple of Ice Punches finishes her off, and we can prep for Claire. Now, I know I said I was going to stick on the Nevermelt Ice, but I don't think we need it. I think we're going to be just fine with Ice Punch here for the Dragonair. The Kingdra, though, could be dangerous, so I'm holding a Purse-Cure Berry just in case of any Dragon Breath shenanigans. We will one-shot all of the Dragonair to get us started, and we'll move on to the Kingdra. Let's try a Psychic. Smokescreen has failed. That's a really good start. She did hit Smokescreen on her second attempt, though. We could go down here. If we miss, never mind, we're not going down. I love being proven wrong in the middle of a sentence. We have defeated Claire, but we don't have the badge yet. We still could technically lose the challenge. We're not going to, but we could lose the challenge before we get our 8th and final Jotonian point because of this cool trainer here, cool trainer Darren, the awful, interrupting, ambushing cool trainer that I really don't like. But with that, we'll get through this whirlpool and we will answer our questionnaire. It's a pair of 1-1-2-1-2 back-to-back, so we'll go 1-1-2, 1 and 2. Game Freak being incredibly imaginative there with their answers to the 2 questionnaires you take in this particular challenge. And with that, we have the Rising Badge and 8 points acquired to our name. A bump of 2 levels in the level cap. We will grab those levels en route towards rival number 5. Claire gives us Dragon Breath. We never use it in a regular challenge and we can't use it in this one. So we will now leave and we'll start making our way towards Victory Road. And now if you were wondering why I wasn't showing the item for the waterfall replacement, it's because I plonked it here in Tojo Falls. There wasn't room in the ice path, unfortunately, so we put it in Tojo Falls instead. It makes absolutely no difference to the course of the progression because you can get to there very, very early on if you do want the waterfall ability to go maybe into Mount Mortar or the Whirl Islands. It just means it's a little bit more seamless as well. But with that, we can start taking on a couple of trainers. I think we'll do our standard trainers for this routing. So we will take on this cool trainer with her Starmie and her Nidoqueen. They should be very easy to knock out with our very powerful, super effective moves. We're actually very lucky to have Psychic and Thunderbolt in this one. That gives us great coverage straight off the bat. But we will keep on moving forwards now. And of course, there's only one obstacle between us and the Hall of Fame now. It is time for the 5th and final regular rival battle. This time he's going to lead with Sneasel. We will use a Fire Punch and we'll hopefully melt it in 1. Golbat comes out to play. We'll use a Thunderbolt this time against the Golbat. We'll knock it out in 1. And we'll swap to a Fire Punch once again for the Magneton. Haunter comes out next. We'll use Psychic. Guarantee it goes away straight away. We don't have anything fantastic for Kadabra, but Future Sight is a relatively poor attack. We'll use the Thunderbolt against the Feraligatr, and we have defeated the rival for the 5th and final time. And with that, we are at the Pokémon League, so we'll heal up whether we need to or not. We will procure our 4 full restores, and then just before we go into the league, I'm going to go back to Goldenrod and I'm going to do one last vitamin shop. Now, as well as getting a couple of vitamins, I did pick up a couple of berries as well. And we will give our first berry, in fact, a bitter berry for the will battle. Now, before going into the league, I do want to do a couple of predictions as we look at our Gengar. We are 129 HP at level 42. Bitter berry with Thunderbolt, Ice Punch, Psychic and Fire Punch, our 4 SuperMON moves. 86 in attack and defense, 146 in special attack, 99 in special defense, and 126 in speed. But those, of course, are the out of battle stats. We will get a big badge boost buff in battle against our first Elite 4 member. Now, thinking of the Elite 4, Will is fairly dangerous. He has the type advantage over us, and if that Jinx sends us to sleep, it definitely will be game over. We have super effective moves for all of his Pokemon, though. Koga and Bruno are going to be a breeze, and then I think if we make it past Karen, we will be able to at least see blue in this SuperMON challenge. But that is a big if. Our 2 danger trainers are going to be Will and Karen, so we need to look out for them. They're going to top and tail the Elite 4, and we will see exactly how we get on. But I'm procrastinating. I will now do a little think of what I want to do for this battle, and then we'll get it started. There is no time like the present. I think we just have to rely on blind faith alone in this one. He leads with Xatu. We can use Thunderbolt against it. We knock it out in one. Jinx is next. Fire Punch connects. Psychic hits for a lot of damage, but we do knock her out. Executor comes next. We'll use an Ice Punch. We knock it out in one. Slowbro is our next Pokemon. Do we knock it out in one? We do. I think we have this in the bag. That could have gone all kinds of wrong, but we are through Will, and we get our 9th point on the board. Let's heal up and take on Koga. And so Koga is our second Elite Four member. He's a Poison-type specialist who's going to lead with Ariados. We have our choice of moves for Ariados. We will use a Psychic, though, to guarantee the one-shot. We will Psychic against the Venomoth as well. It goes down in one. Fortress is third. We've got a Fire Punch for the Fortress. It's quad weak, so we know we can get rid of it straight away. Now, Muck is probably going to survive a hit or two with Psychic. It's very bulky, but, of course, it can't hit us very hard at all because it's a Poison type. And then it's probably going to be a similar situation with this Crobat. Wing Attack crits, which is a little bit mean there, but we should be in the clear now. 2 further Thunderbolts finishes it off. We are through Koga. We have our next points. We are into double digits. We will heal up and we will take on Bruno. Bruno is going to be a walk in the park. I'm not worried at all in the slightest about the Bruno battle. We'll use Psychic against the Hitmontop. We are going to take a tiny bit of damage from Dig. Oh, a crit, goodness me, that could be dangerous. We'll Ice Punch the Onix, we can get rid of that in one hit. And then we'll use Psychic against the Hitmonlee. We knock it out in one. Hitmonchan comes out to play. Psychic knocks out in one. We grow to level 44. And that just leaves Machamp left to go. Foresight's meaningless, we can use 2 further Psychics. We will finish him off. And we are through Bruno. That dig was a little bit scarier than I thought it would be. But we get 11 points, and we can think about Karen. So I have put in our 3 rare candies here to get us up to Karen's level. This could very well spell the end of the challenge. I'm going to give it my best go. I'm not 100% confident about the Karen battle. We are going to actually use a HP up here for the HP up strat to try and force Umbreon into not using Sand Attack. So please do cross your fingers and we'll see how we get on. Now I have been doing a little bit of thinking and I don't think she's going to go for Confuse Ray on the Umbreon because she'll see the type advantage with Feint Attack. So I think holding a Gold Berry to restore 30 HP might just tip this battle in our favour. It's still going to be tough, but that is my idea. This is what I'm really loving about the SuperMON challenge. I can take these breaks and think about what I'm doing and try and play as smart as possible. I'm going to start off with an Ice Punch and we get the freeze. I was really just doing that. Oh, she got defrosted. Never mind. We knock it out anyway. I was doing that as the 1 in 10 chance. I'm thrown now. I'm waiting for the luck to turn against us. Oh, the Spadef drop. Really? We get through Houndoom, though. Now, are we going to one-shot with Psychic against this Vileplume? We're not. Petal Dance is fine. Who do we have left? We have her Gengar. We're through Karen. We are through the Elite Four now, I reckon. Oh, deep breaths. Full restore. Where are those rare candies? We can get up to 49. And we can just take a moment now and prep for Lance. Before we take on Lance, I don't think we'd have got through without that lucky freeze. So maybe Gengar deserved 11 points, but we did get the luck on the day. Now we are going to try and give ourselves the best chance of getting through Lance. So we're going to hold on to the Nevermelt Ice. We probably won't need it, but it's a little bit of superstition, isn't it? Lance is the liar with the flyers. He leads with Gyarados. We've got a quad super effective Thunderbolt for that. We now move on to Dragonite's number 1. We're going to one-shot it with Ice Punch. There was no doubt about it whatsoever. Dragonite number 2 is going to be a one-shot as well. And then he moves on to Aerodactyl. Thunderbolt, is it a one-shot? It is a one-shot as we hit our level cap. We will Thunderbolt the Charizard once more. And then we will one-shot the Dragonite. And we have done it. We have made it through the Elite Four. That gives us a grand total of 14 points. We are now more than halfway towards maximum pointage with our Gengar. So we are in the Hall of Fame. We will see we have just our Gengar. And we can, of course, now hold our heads high, knowing that we have made it through the Elites Four. This is, of course, though, only half of the story. There is still up to another 8 gym badges and potentially the red fight left to come. So don't you dare go anywhere, because Kanto is next. And now we are rejoining the action as we always do here in Vermilion City. However, we're not going to be doing our standard Kantonian routing, and we're not going to be doing a pre-recorded Kanto chat. We're going to be doing this one all as live. Now, if you've seen the Nuzlockes, you'll know what I'm doing here. Instead of doing our regular Kanto routing, trying to get through as quickly as possible, we're going to get rid of all of the storyline straight away here in Kanto. That will then mean that we will be able to face the gym leaders in any order we like. That's not going to necessarily be too pertinent for our Gengar, but there are going to be some Pokemon which may struggle at a particular Kanto gym leader, and so by doing them in any order, we're going to maximise the number of points we can get for a beginning, and hopefully go in at a good level and potentially get through the trickier gym battles. And so the first thing we need to do is take care of the power plant. This is a fairly simple affair, doing the power plant. We just need to go in here and have a little chat with the manager of the power plant. He's going to give us a zap cannon, not that we can use it unfortunately. And we will start making our way back into the other side of Kanto. We're going to go into Saffron City and cycle up to Cerulean. So this is the first part of the teeny tiny Kanto storyline. We're going to make sure we don't go into Cerulean's Pokemon Center. We'll have a little chat with this grunt. And now when I first started doing challenge runs, I thought you had to battle that grunt. But we have subsequently learnt, or at least I have subsequently learnt, that he is completely optional. You can bypass him and go straight into Nugget Bridge. Now, we all know Nugget Bridge. It's a bunch of trainers, very underleveled. Nothing happens here. So we will meet back up at the end to continue the storyline. And now at the end of Nugget Bridge, we will have a little chat with Misty. She will unlock her gym. We'll fly back to Cerulean. We will grab the machine part and try to avoid taking on any trainers. And we will return this machine part to its rightful owner over at the power plant. So we'll use the Rentalabra for that. We'll go over here, we'll stick on one of our max repels. And we will surf back down to the power plant. And then we can unlock even more of Kanto quick, sharp, and in a hurry. Because we get TM07, again, we can't teach any TMs, kind of frustrating. But that is part of the challenge. We're not able to change our learn set at all throughout the course of this challenge. From there, we go to Lavender Town, and we will get our expansion card for the radio card, and that's going to let us open up the other half of Kanto. If we go now to Vermilion City, I always get Viridian and Vermilion mixed up. I think after doing this for nearly 3 and a bit years, I'd be able to know the difference between the two, but nope. Still get them confused even to this day. We will get rid of that Snorlax. And now we will climb our way through Rock Tunnel. We'll say hello to 3Drill, and because we are not on the clock, we will take 3Drill on in battle. Very nice battle it is, good old 3Drill. Not going to be any issues at all. I have just realised that the overlay has not been updating itself, so please do let me fix that. While we're here, and we will give 3Drill his correct title card as well. Get the fly spot for Pewter City. And then we're just going to go south and get our fly spots for Seafoam Islands. And then we'll be done with the storyline, and we can start thinking about the order in which we want to take on all of the gym leaders. We're going to have to be a little bit strategic, I think, with how we take on the gym leaders. Try and take on the easier ones first, and then take on some of the harder ones a little bit later. But this chat with Blue does mean that all 8 of our Kantonian gyms are now open to us. We will go across here, and we will unlock Fuchsia City as our penultimate city. We haven't unlocked Celadon yet, but I think Fuchsia is going to be where we start proceedings because Janine is going to be very, very easy. So let's take her on. This is Janine of Fuchsia City. She is our 9th gym leader together, a poison type specialist who leads with Crobat. We one-shot the Crobat with a Thunderbolt. She sends out Ariados. We've got Fire Punch. No need to use our Psychics here. We'll Fire Punch the Venomoth as well, and that will bring us on to her Wheezing. We will use Psychic here, guarantee the one-shots. We grow up to level 53 as we knock out the second Wheezing, and that is Janine all defeated. Soul Badge acquired, 15th point on the board as well, and we can leave here with our heads held high, and we can think about where we want to go next. Now I reckon we can take on Blaine next. Blaine shouldn't be too tricky, and we are vaguely in the neighbourhood. If I didn't get caught on multiple ledges, I never go backwards out of Fuchsia. It's kind of off-putting, actually. Let's not get caught by a spinner, and let's take him on. So Blaine is going to be our 10th gym leader. He is a fire-type specialist who leads with Macargo. We'll use Thunderbolt against the Macargo as Flamethrower hits us for a little bit. We'll finish it off with an Ice Punch, and we are on to the Bumhead Fire Duck. Thunderbolt again is going to be the order of the day. Sunny Days meaningless here. And that just leaves a Rapidash left to go. We outspeed, we crit, and we get through it in one attempt. That is the most out-of-the-way gym, all defeated. We get our next badge, and I think we'll go to Pewter next, because we should have a very, very nice time against Brock and his Rock-type Pokemon. We do, of course, have one trainer to deal with before we get to Brock. That is Camper Jerry with his Sand Slash. We'll move Ice Punch to top spot for this battle as well, so that we can just hold A at the beginning of the Brock battle. So Brock is gym leader number 11 in this challenge, and he leads with Graveler. One shot on the Graveler with Ice Punch, I'd expect nothing less. Rhyhorn, I beg your pardon, comes out, and it's the exact same situation. We've got Thunderbolts for his fossils. We knock that one out in one. He sends out Onix as his penultimate. It's another simple one-shot, and then it's a simple one-shot against Kabutops as well. So we have 17 points on the board now after Brock, and that means we can think about where we want to go next. How does a little day trip to Cerulean City sound to you? Does it sound good? Because that's where we're going. I think Misty should be fairly simple as well. We can actually heal in this Pokemon Center for the first time ever in one of our solo challenges. Don't need to worry about that anymore. Let us take Misty on. She should be fairly trivial. We've got Thunderbolt and we've got our choice of moves for the Quagsire. We'll first of all get rid of the Golduck. Quagsire comes out to play. Ice Punch should be fairly good. In fact, it's better than fairly good. It gets the one shot. Lapras isn't going to be an issue. We can one shot that with a Thunderbolt. And then if we get rid of Lapras, we know we're going to get rid of Starmie. And that's Misty down. Cascade Badge, 18 points acquired so far. And now that brings us on to another choice. Where do we go next? I think Celadon is going to be our next easiest gym battle. We have the type resistance to the grass type, of course. And we have Fire Punch, so we should be dealing super effective damage. We'll grab the leftovers while we are here. And we'll chop down this tree. And we've got a couple of trainers to take care of here in Erika's gym. Depending on which side you face the twins, by the way, they'll send out a different Pokemon first. Doesn't matter for us because we'll one-shot both of them either way. We don't even need to use our strongest moves that are super effective. We'll take left-hand side here because she is a little bit quicker. This is Tanya with her Executor. Fire Punch again is a one-shot. And that just leaves our final gym trainer left to go. This is Julia. She starts with a Paris. Paris is weak to Ice Punch, so we grow to 56 and we knock it out. We'll do the same against the Execute, and then that leaves Parasect left to go. Another one shot, and we can now take on Erika. Erika is the Grass-type gym leader of Celadon Gym, and she does, of course, lead with Tangela. We'll use Ice Punch against Tangela, we knock it out in a single hit. It's going to be the same situation against the Victory Bell, and so she'll try with her Jumpluff. Jumpluff puts up no resistance being quad weak, and it's going to be the same, I think, for the Blossom. A very nice Erika battle there. We get the Rainbow Badge and 19 points, and we can leave here and move even further on. Now we are getting to the points where we have the most difficult gym leaders left. I reckon out of the three of them, it's going to be Lieutenant Surge who will be the easiest, because he's not going to have anything super effective. And I've done it again. I always accidentally fly to Fuchsia when I'm trying to get to Vermilion. Let us chop down this tree. We have one mandatory trainer here in Surge's gym. Now my worry is that he's got quite good special defense with most of his team. So we are probably going to have to be a little bit careful there. We will get rid of Greg's Pokemon first of all. Of course, our Gengar is called Greg in this run. And just for a little bit of safety reasons, we shall hold on to a Purse Cure Berry. So let's now take Surge on. He's probably not going to be a pleasant battle, but hopefully we will get through. He leads with a Raichu. We use Psychic against the Raichu and we one-shot it. That's a very good start. Electabuzz is next. We're probably not going to one-shot this. And Light Screen is not what we wanted to see there, because that means we have to deal with the Thunder. 3 Psychics knocks it out though, and then these Electrodes should be fairly harmless, especially if we crit actually. The Light Screen has fallen. I misclicked there. I thought Fire Punch was there. It's not going to make any difference to the course of the battle, but I did do a cheeky little rewind. It wouldn't have affected anything even if Zap Cannon landed. We have the Purse Cure Barrier and it was 2 one-shots. And now that does just leave 2 gym leaders left to go. We have Blue and we have Sabrina. Both of them are going to be tricky. I actually think Blue might be slightly easier than Sabrina in some ways, but I'm going to take a little bit of time to think and we'll figure out who we want to do. I've ended up doing the Magnet Train side quest here so we can go back to Johto, because I want to pick up the magnet itself, actually, thinking of magnets, just because I think that might give us a little bit of a leg up for the Sabrina battle. I want to take on Sabrina next, as opposed to taking on Blue. I'm not sure if that's sensible or not, but we can get the magnet from Sunny of Sunday if we clear a little bit of space in the bag. We absolutely don't need the metal coat, we don't need that HP up anymore. And we will be getting the candy jar so we can get rid of those rare candies. We'll grab the magnet and we will equip it onto our Gengar. So hopefully that little boost combined with Lieutenant Surge's badge boost will mean that Thunderbolt is able to take care of Sabrina's Pokemon. We shall have to see if that is the case. So let's now go into the gym and we will take her on. My confidence isn't great for this battle, but we will see how we do. 20 points is respectable regardless of what happens now. She leads with Espeon and Thunderbolt one-shots. That's a very, very good start. We one-shot Mr. Mime. I think I've been worrying for nothing here. 3 one-shots. Sabrina, you disappoint me. Marsh Badge acquired. 21 points on the board. Let's get out of here. We are at our level cap for Blue, and that means we can fly all the way back to Viridian City with our missing no air balloon there. We'll do one last heal before Blue. We'll get into the gym and we'll think about strats. So running through Blue's team in my head, he leads with Pidgeot. We've got a super effective Thunderbolt for Pidgeot. He's got Alakazam, which we don't have anything great for, so we're just probably going to have to spam Thunderbolt again. We have Arcanine, which again, don't have anything great for, going to be spamming Thunderbolt and or Psychic. Gyarados, we've got quad super effective Thunderbolt. The Executor, we've got a super effective Ice and Fire Punch. And he's got one more Pokemon, Rhydon, isn't it? And we've got super effective Ice Punch for that. I think the leftovers are going to be the best item to hold in this one as well. So let's now keep everything crossed and we will engage him in battle. This is Blue, the final gym leader of the challenge. He leads with Pidgeot. Thunderbolt is a one-shot. That's a very good start. Rhydon is next. We can get rid of Rhydon with an Ice Punch. Alakazam is very scary. I'm hoping he goes for Reflect. That is perfect because we don't care about Reflect. We are just a special attacker. We get through the Gyarados. We are on to the Arcanine. We're going to use the Psychic there. Flamethrower hits. Not too hard though. We'll swap to a Thunderbolt to knock it out in 2. And that brings us on to Executor. We'll use Ice Punch against the Executor. Leech Seed is fine, he's got a healing loop, but I don't think we've got anything to worry about too much here. Even though Leech Seed is sapping away at our health, we do have the lefties, and that is regaining our health, and we get through blue. We have 22 points. We get the candy jar so that we can level up to 81 for red, and we have defeated all of our gym leaders for this challenge. Goodness me. I wasn't expecting to get this far. I thought we wouldn't get past Karen, honestly. Thought we'd maybe scrape by Will, have a good couple of battles in the middle of the Elite Four, get wiped by Karen and have to call it a day. But we have now unlocked Silver Cave. Let's get ourselves over to red. On the way up into Silver Cave, I did use the candy jar that Blue gave us to get ourselves up to our maximum level. As I mentioned at the beginning of the challenge, there's no real way to get up to the level cap here with Johto's level curve without repeatedly going through the Elite Four. And honestly, for creating content, that would be far, far too much of a time sink. So we are cheating ever so slightly at the end, but we are now at level 81. Let's take a look at our stats and see if we think we're going to get through red. We've got 246 HP, holding the leftovers with Thunderbolt, Ice Punch, Psychic and Fire Punch. 168 in attack, 166 in defense, 281 in special attack, 192 in special defense, and 243 in speed. Now, I have mentioned a couple of vitamin shops throughout the course of this challenge. I've been prioritising not only with the battles I take on, but with the vitamins I've been prioritising special and speed. So that is why our attack is a little bit lower than you would expect, especially if we were doing a solo run. I would have put a lot more emphasis on physical attack. So we only actually have 28,000 stat experience in physical attack compared to 42,000 in our special stats. And then for speed, we've got 32,000. So you can see there's some strategizing that goes into the battles we take on as well in the SuperMON challenge. But I'm really just procrastinating because I don't want to lose the run here. So will we win or will we won't win? Even with that terrible butchering of the English language, we'll start this battle. We know Pikachu's not going to be an issue. We can get rid of it, hopefully, in one shot with Ice Punch. I think we very low rolled there. We're on to Snorlax. We're going to fish for a freeze. A freeze would be great. We didn't get it, so we're going to try and get the Spadef drops with Psychic now. I did get all the PP ups possible in Psychic. I also got an extra PP up for Thunderbolt. So we will have, hopefully, the maximum available turns to get rid of both Snorlax and everything else for this battle. He's swapped into Espeon. That's very, very weird. We'll go for a Thunderbolt against this Espeon. Psychic hits us for a lot of damage and he gets the Spadef drop. That's not what we want to see. Let's use the Psychic here now. Try and fish for another Spadef drop. We are going to regain our health against this Snorlax. We're not going to be able to knock it out though, unfortunately. We did get a Spadef drop though now, so hopefully this thing is in 3-shot range. If it's in 3-shot range, we should be good. We'll finish it off with an Ice Punch, preserve our Psychic PP. Venusaur is next. We'll use the Psychic, hopefully he will go for Solar Beam. Didn't even get a chance to do that. Got Thunderbolt for the Charizard. We'll one-shot it, and that just leaves Blastoise left to go. We are at lowered special defense. We've paralysed the Blastoise. He doesn't crit, and we knock it out. And we can confirm that Gengar is, in fact, a SuperMON. We've taken it with Thunderbolt, Ice Punch, Psychic, and Fire Punch all the way from New Bark Town, through the Johto League, through the Elite Four, through Kanto and up to Silver Cave, all without a single reset. Gengar is not going to be reflective of all Pokemon in this challenge, and that does mean that our first Pokemon on our SuperMON leaderboard is in fact a SuperMON. We probably won't see too many SuperMONs on this leaderboard. A lot of them will have their points value shown instead. I think next one we'll do is going to be another fairly easy one so I can get used to the format, and then we'll start seeing some more tricky Pokemon. But if you enjoyed this one, please do make sure to leave a like. If you've got any feedback, leave it in the comments down below. Subscribe if you want to see more SuperMON challenges just like this. A big thank you once again to Matthias, and until next time, I'll say thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all very, very soon.